Part of me feels like I shouldn't be making this video, but it's been about 6 hours now, and I just want to get something off of my chest and I hope people don't take offense to it. But in 2023, I moved halfway across the country into my first apartment. I graduated college literally a month before. So got out of college, took everything I had saved up, drove to Texas from the East Coast, moved into an apartment, and the first couple of months were miserable, man. I struggled to make friends. I was depressed. I was lonely. I went from making $12,000 the month before I moved to, I think, bro, I don't need like a couple thousand, man. It was in, not that like that's the worst thing in the world. I mean, obviously you can still pay your bills with that, but it kind of hit at once. It was like, can I do this? Did I make the right decision? And then finally, I decided to just go out and meet people. And from a couple of months there on, nothing really happened. I mean, I met some people, and then they just set the bar, right? They just kind of disappeared. And then one night, this guy introduced me to some people, and I was just standing there in the middle of the dance floor and not even really dancing, just kind of feeling the music. And then he called me over because he kind of see it's like I was just standing there like kind of awkwardly. And then he introduced me to his friends. And then his friend invited me over to his place after the bar closed, and we played some beer pong, listened to music, and there was a girl there. And I remember we were playing beer pong. I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but fuck it, man. But there was one cup left. It was me and the guy who invited me over, and then the girl, and then the guy that introduced me to everyone, and then she flashed me, and then I remember I didn't even look. I just sank the shot, and then ultimately from there on, every single weekend, sometimes even Sundays, like I would go over there and I'd hang out, and then that's when I met this guy, and he's going to be the main focal point of the video. And I don't mind crying, but I know it like I don't know, bro. Like I'm definitely gonna cry in this video. I feel like the past 5 hours it's been like on and off. I was watching a basketball game for my job, and I had to turn it off at halftime because I couldn't even focus on it, bro. Like they were up 20, and I'm like, I'll watch this tomorrow, bro. But I met this guy, and bro, like he literally became my best friend. Like he became a brother. Like, bro, literally every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'd hang out, and he'd come over, and man, we'd play beer pong, we'd watch games, and it's just literally like the best time of my life, bro. Just being 24. I just turned 24 years old, and I was on my own for the first time in a city, coming from a small town, and man, it was the best feeling. And there was nights where this was when I first started really like approaching girls, and I had never really put myself out there for women, but it was bad. I mean, and this is kind of where Swag Yale started to become a channel. And I remember just the talks he'd have, because like you go up to girls and it's not even about getting rejected, but it's just you know how it be, bro. And I remember him kind of just talking to me, and then we would go get food and then just hang out, man. And he was a guy who was just around when nobody else really was. And literally for the next 2 years, like every single week, I'm not even exaggerating, we'd hang out. And there was a night where I was stranded because my Uber app wasn't working. And I remember just like kind of sitting on the street. So what happened? I've never told this story, but basically, him and I were together at we were at this, like, I guess you'd call it a club, and then he wanted to go home early, and he was my ride, and I was like, hey man, don't worry about it. I'll Uber home because I was having a good time, right? I wanted to stay till the end. And then I remember, like, I get out or whatever, and yeah, my Uber app wasn't working, and I called him, and he's like, was home. And then I was like, hey man, don't worry about it. It was a 30-minute drive. I was like, don't worry about it, man. I was like, I'll just stay on the street for the night until my grandma wakes up in the morning, and then I can use her info, right? And then call the Uber. But he literally just showed up. Like he came all the way back, had just gotten home, picked me up, and then we went back because we both lived about 30 minutes from downtown Houston. And then that was kind of like our relationship, was just helping each other out, right? Like, if he was tight on money, I'd help him out with that. Like he talked to me, man. Like And yeah, eventually he literally just became like the driver. Like, cause I was a really bad driver because I was like small town downtown Houston. Like, bro, I didn't know how to drive there, man. So like he would just kind of drive, and then we just had talks and stuff like that. And then we started going to festivals together. It was just a bond that I've never really had. And it was tough because when I moved away from Houston, I mean, I had to leave that behind, right? I had to leave behind that friendship and other relationships I had. And I'm sorry that it took 5.5 minutes to kind of get to this point, but I just wanted to give you some context. So when I when I moved away, well, first of all, one of my last nights in Houston, his car caught on fire. I was in the car, and I didn't have time to reach into the back seat and to grab my backpack. And I lost my favorite hoodie, which is whatever. Shout out to my family, shout out to my grandma because she was able to find the hoodie and she got me a new one. It's a Squid Games 456 if anyone cares, but so it was a really cool hoodie, right? Always got compliments wearing it. I did not get to save my bracelets, so I had bracelets over the last 2 years. Some of them, they were all homemade, and a lot of them I traded with people, and they were all gone. So that kind of sucked. But and then his car, like obviously, I mean, it caught on fire, and I remember just walking to my like literally we were turning the corner onto my street, and then I just walked to my apartment, and I just saw it go up in flames, and it was scary, bro. Like I've never like been around a fire like that, so like it was so freaking hot, and we were in Texas, and what month was it? I don't know when it was, like March or something. Because it was like kind of like a year ago, I guess. But yeah, that was freaking scary. And then I found out that he I don't know if I should say this, bro, but I hope people don't. I don't even know. That's the thing is like I don't even know if he's alive right now. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what's going on. Nobody's telling me. And but I know that he ended up totaling the next car that he got. I think he's got another car now, but nobody knows where he is. I literally talked to him middle of last week, and then yeah, he was last seen, I believe, Friday morning at like 5 a.m. Leaving my friend's house. So nobody knows where he is after that happened, and his car wasn't at his house when my friend went today. My other friend says that he was in jail, and he's like, it's not looking good. But it's like, I don't even know what that means. And yeah, both of them haven't really been responding the last like 5 hours. So I feel like I know it's not my fault what happened, but him and I held each other so accountable when we were friends, and because we both had a lot of faults to us, and we were kind of able to help each other with those. And I'm not going to get into specifically some stories because like I'm just it's out of privacy reasons. But yeah, there was nights where man I saved him, and there was nights where he saved me. He saved me a lot of nights. Honestly, like he saved me way more than I saved him. But there was one night specifically that could have been very dark for him. I was able to kind of get that under control. It sucks because I just look at the friends that I made, and we all had so much potential, and we just threw it all away. And given that we're 27 years old, of course we still have time to turn it around, but it gets to the point where there's certain things you can't overcome. I mean, you can overcome anything. I mean, like, I don't know if this is a good analogy or not, but Henry Ruggs was speeding, and I don't know if he was drinking or not, but he hit a woman, killed her and her pet. And obviously it's devastating. I mean, he killed someone, and she'll never be able to speak to her family again. And there's nothing worse than that. But he could still turn his life around, right? But it's just things like that should never happen. Like you should never drink and get behind the wheel and then especially start to speed. I mean, and these are things that I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect, bro, but there are things that over the last couple of years I've really started to take seriously because all it takes is just one mistake and then it ruins your life. Or even like worse is like it ruins someone else's life. I mean, imagine being a mom or being a dad and having to get that knock on the door to get that phone call and it's like you didn't even get to say goodbye. So I just hope that my friend is okay. I don't know. Again, I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to assume the worst. But I just know that if I didn't mess up and I was able to stay in Houston, that he would have been able to get way more out of life because just I don't even know how to put this into words, bro, but I just know that the both of us would have been better off with each other because it's so rare that you have a friend that is just always about the team and like sports analogy, just always about other people. And I know a few people like that, but it's very rare. And just him and I were always together, bro. So we stayed out of trouble. Like we never had any incidents, man. I've never been in a fight, and I hope to never be in a fight. I don't know how to fight. But I remember there was someone pressing him on the street once. I remember I stepped in and then bro, that was crazy because that dude was definitely way more jacked than I'm skinny, but like, bro, you're gonna see her and disrespect my homie, man. Like that's not gonna fly, right? So that's the only time anything like that's ever happened. But that's just what I mean is like you need people that are always there. And my friend, my friend from where I'm at now was really, really drunk on Saturday, well, Sunday morning, and I was up. I'm sick, so I'm getting better, but I wasn't out with the group. But I was looking at his location for like, not, I wasn't just staring at it for like 20 minutes, but just when I was laying in bed, playing my game or whatever before I go to bed. And then it's like I'd look at his location, make sure he's safe, and if something is it going to like your location because he wasn't driving. Thankfully, he wasn't driving. He would not have been able to. But that's just what I mean is like having friends' locations and making sure that they're okay. Like that means a lot to me. And I used to be against people having my location, but my friends have my location, my family has my location, and you're an idiot if you don't share a location to people. But my friend doesn't have his phone. Like we don't know where his car is. I I just wish I was there so that way I could figure out what's going on or like if I was actually with him, like I would have known that he's okay because he would have dropped me off and then it's like all right, well, text me when you're safe, or it's like I have his location, watch that. And then, I see that as well, obviously I wouldn't have been able to do anything like had um he left his phone at my friends, but like, I don't know, maybe just call his folks and let them I don't know, bro. I'm not saying that like there's anything wrong at what they did, but there's just nothing more annoying than not having answers to something. Like I'm a very impatient person and maybe this will all be nothing, but it just doesn't feel like it. Like it starts somewhere, man. It's like it starts with one thing and then it spirals and leads to another. And take it from me, man. Like back in December, I was doing the best that I had in 3 years. Like I was making money from YouTube. I got my first sponsorship. I got $500 from Facebook, which might not seem like much, but it's like it's an extra $500, man. Hell yeah, It's like I was saving up money. I stopped going out as much, and I was actually seeing my savings account grow for the first time in literally years. Like obviously living at home, not paying rent helps, but like everything was good, man. I wasn't as close to my friends as I'd like because I wasn't going out as much, and like obviously like you suffer from your relationships, but then I got suspended from YouTube for 3 months. And then I started gambling and I lost a lot of money. And then my car got totaled. Someone ran a red and hit me. I'm going to pick up the check this week. But yeah, I'm still got my sponsorship, getting more money than I thought from the check, and it's like my suspension ends March 10th, which is less than a month. So it's like I'm gonna figure this out, man. And I'm still in my group chat with the friend that I'm talking about and with other people. Another guy wants to ruin me, so it's like there's options. I thought about getting a nice car, but I was like, why would I do that? Doesn't really make sense. I mean, I've had the same car since I was a senior in high school, 18 years old. I'm 27 now, so it's a long time. I know I got a comment on my last video saying that, oh, you're all about materialistic items. I don't own any jewelry, and I've had the same car since senior year. So it's like, it's just funny how people will create a narrative and run with it. But that's my point, bro, is that like everything was going so well, and then suspension, gambling. There was one night, actually I can't say that on YouTube, but there was, let's just say there was one night that should not have happened, and that woke me up. I mean, nothing really happened, but it's just that's what thing is like. You just get lucky sometimes, but it's like you cannot do stupid stuff because eventually something's gonna happen. And all it takes is just, again, like I said, that it's like a broken record, but literally, bro, like one mistake, it's over. So, and then it's like one mistake on top of one mistake, and then you realize that like you're older and you're just stuck, and then you're just gonna think about what could have been. So, that's my biggest fear. If you guys don't really know anything about me, my biggest fear in life is disappointing my family. It's regressing. There's a YouTuber that I watch named Jordan Green, and he got his first apartment when he was 22, and then he bought a brand new BMW. And his finances got so bad that he leased a BMW, by the way, but his finances got so bad to where he had to get rid of the car, and then he got a Mazda SUV, and then instead of moving in, excuse me, essentially with his family, his parents, with the BMW to try to own it someday. He saw that as regression, so then he traded it in, got the Mazda. It was 2017, super nice car, and he lived in his car. And then this was years ago. Now I believe he lives in the Netherlands with his girlfriend. So shout out to Jordan, man. But yeah, he said he didn't believe in regression, and the reason I bring that up is because back in April of 2025, I had to make a decision. Do I want to move back home, or do I want to stay in Texas? And my finances were so bad. I mean, I lied to a lot of people. Like, unfortunately, I made it seem like, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll stay. Fucking sick, bro. But my friend's girlfriend offered me her apartment because she was basically always at her boyfriend's house, and it was like a super crazy deal. And even if I had like a little bit of money, I would have taken that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But I didn't have a little bit of money. I had enough money to get home. I had enough gas money. Literally, I sold like my couch, had enough gas money to get home, and that was all my money. It was bad, bro. So, but obviously, since then, I've grown a lot, built my media company. My YouTube channels are, not to say they're doing crazy, but they're doing well enough to like make a living. And then the biggest thing is my media company on Instagram, Red Sox Palace. I know you guys ask about that all the time. It's Red Sox Palace. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I also have an NBA page that's blowing up, getting like millions of views on there with only 100 followers. So that's crazy. I've got Meta glasses. I do plan on doing Meta content. So the sponsorship, if I can get more sponsorship, like I feel great about my life. The suspension sucked. The gambling sucked. But I mean, there's going to be setbacks. Like it's happens. But it's just, it can't be one bad thing after another. And I feel like that's what happened to my friend. And you can say what you want about me. People make fun of me constantly in the comments. But the thing about me is that I've always been there for my friends. I've had 2 friends in Texas who had nowhere to live, and they moved in with me. One of my friends probably paid me $500 in like 6 months. He's probably watching this. my other friend actually paid like a few months of rent, but then he just stopped, and then I had to kick him out. And it's a long story, but so it's like I took my friends in, man. They didn't have anywhere to live, and it's like they live with me, and then just other friends too that I've had, man. Just if they ever need anything, like the friend that I've been talking about, there was nights where like his car got towed or something happened to his car, and then yeah, he didn't have the money to get it out of the tow yard or whatever, and then he would have had to call his dad to get it out. And then I was like, hey man, I got it. I did that a couple times. Buying drinks from my friends, at the bars, stuff like that. So like obviously not really smart to do, because that's a large reason why I failed in Texas, is because of doing that. But that's just who I am as a person, man. Making sure everyone else is good. It's like I didn't have a good time, but everyone else did. All right, then I had a good time. So that's something I've worked on a lot. Like I don't buy. Well, I'm not gonna lie. On holidays, like so Halloween. So what month are we in? Valentine's Day. Yeah, maybe like once a month I'll buy my friend like a shot, like at the bar, or like Halloween. So like twice since Halloween I've bought my friend like a drink. So it's like that's fine, but just every weekend, no, like cannot happen, right? So that's just how to lose your money. And my body can't handle drinking like that anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I hope this might have been a bad video. I don't even know. I guess I'll look at the analytics in a couple days or whatever. But I really wish that my friend and I, not the one I've been talking about, but like my roommate, ex roommate, were able to figure it out, and we just kind of kept hanging out with my other friend, and then grew together. But it's like it just went downhill. And for him, I mean, he also moved back in, so we both moved in with our folks, and he's got a job. He tried to trade, it's not really working out, and he's got to deal with his parents, and it's not it's not like everything that he wants, right? So I'm fortunate to have a really good household. So even though it took me a while to figure things out, I did figure things out, and I am. It's not like I'm ready to move to Houston tomorrow, but within the next couple of months, I certainly will be making a decision. I'll have a whole video on that out on that when the time comes. There's no reason to get into it right now, but I don't have a car, and that's a big leap. But yeah, I mean, I've stayed in contact with. I think I gotta end this, bro. I literally can't talk. Like my throat hurts so bad, but I've stayed in contact with my former roommate for months now. And like here and there, I'll kind of talk to my other friends in Texas, but you realize quickly who kind of cares for you and who doesn't. Pretty much every person that I followed and they followed me from Texas unfollowed me. And like actually like really nobody reached out to me. So it's not obviously like the connections weren't really that meaningful, but that's my point, is like people don't really care about you, man. They're just kind of in it for them. And like in the moment, yeah, you're having a good time, like, but like once you leave, it's like who really cares? But I feel like the bond that I grew with the people that I've been talking about was just it was strong, man. I'm not saying that they're better than my friends back home, but it's just, man, it was like a brotherhood, bro. It was like literally every single weekend, group chats, talking, gaming. It just, we did everything together, bro. And just to see, kind of what's happened makes me very, very sad. And I hope he's okay. If I had money, or if I had more money, I would love to just fly out there and kind of see for myself, and then maybe, talk to him and things like that. But that's not an option right now. But I hope to get back to Houston, and to, even if we don't all live together, but just to hang out and stuff like that, and just kind of push each other to be the best that we can. Because sometimes people just need to be pushed. I mean, you see it all the time. It's like a weird analogy, but in relationships, it's like someone doesn't really see their potential, but then the other person does, and that happens, all the time, honestly. And then with friendships, it's like somebody's kind of slacking, but then they just need to be pushed. Like, even though things didn't really go the way I'm sure that everyone wanted. I mean, we all have things we're good at. It's like my friend, not my roommate, but my friend, consistently lifting since high school. So for like over a decade, my other friend was a pro gamer in Vegas and was also a minor league baseball player. So just an injury happens or like something happens, man. I don't know. Like heartbroken is probably not the best example, but like you get injured and you can never pitch again, never play again. Like that's obviously devastating. Or this and that happens. But I wish I could tell him that no matter really how much you mess up in life, you can still turn it around. And it reminds me a lot of my gambling because, man, it just became a huge issue. But I just knew that I'd be able to turn it around, and I don't think I'm obviously not there yet. But I realized that even if you gamble away a ton of money, like if you stop gambling, then you're just going to start making the money, but then you have to take action to not do it again. So I don't know what it's called, but I signed something to where I literally cannot um, gamble. So like casinos and sports books, and I can still trade, and that's been an issue in its own right. But I deleted the app, and if I just don't gamble and like if I just don't gamble, I mean, I'm going to be in a great spot. Like it's as simple as that. And then obviously I don't get suspended again. I know why I got suspended for reuse content. Do I think it was BS? Yes, because it was transformative in nature. And not to bore you guys, but like if you add something to a video, it's not reused content. It never was to begin with. Literally, I made it. But YouTube is very strict about that. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, not really so much, but just don't make mistakes. And it's so easy. Well, it's not easy, but that's the wrong way to phrase it. But it's just so obvious. Like, don't gamble, don't reuse content. But then you get that rush, man. It's like this got over 1 million views. I made $100 in basically seconds. And then you start to gamble and it's like you're thousands of dollars up. And it's like, it's crazy. It's like, bro, I just made thousands of dollars just literally on my phone. And then instead of depositing the money, you try to, stack that. And then all of a sudden it's all gone. So this went on for months, the darkest nights of my life. But I kept telling myself and I kept telling my family that I was in such a good spot before this. And it's over with. And then it's like, I'm going to keep being in a good spot. But then it wasn't over with. And even, fuck, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, man, but like, what was it over the weekend? So Saturday, I was sick, and my friends were all out having a good time, and I put $20 on a game, and then like immediately they fell behind 10 points. So then I cashed out. I think I had like $10 or like $5. I don't even know. And then I put the money on another team, and then the other team hit a buzzer beater. And then I put $20 in, and then literally that team got buzzer beater. They were both up. Like this guy literally went the length of the floor with 5 seconds left and did a layup in college basketball for the win. Another person had a tip in, and I was down $40, which like $40 isn't much, but the point isn't being down $40. It's like, why the fuck am I putting any money in after I just lost thousands and thousands of dollars? And then that's where gambling becomes a problem because you want to chase the money. Like if you put $20 in and you lost, and it's like, all right, well, I stuck it out the game. Like that's not really a problem. But then it's like you want to make the money back. And then I put $40 in, and then ran that up to $85, right? So it's like had basically what I had back. But then the thing about this app is that you can't just immediately, like on a sports book, take out the money. If you could do that, I would not have lost anything because I literally can promise you I would have taken it out. But it's like you have to wait up to 4 business days. So then that's where it becomes a problem because you just open up the app and you see the money and then games are on and it's just an addiction. And then that $80 on Sunday, I put it on a game, and then they ended up falling behind 10 points, and then I cashed out, and I had $14. And then They came back down 10 points with 5 minutes left. They won by I think 8. And see, that's another thing about gambling is that the way they structure it, like they'll give you a cash out. It's like, oh, take $14. And it's like, all right, well, I don't want to have zero. And then they come back and win. Or it's like they'll give you numbers that look so enticing and then you take them and then the other team ends up coming back. And it's just, man, it keeps you on the app. And like they know that if you lose, it's like it's gonna hurt you and you're just gonna keep putting more money in. So then that $14, I ended up running up to I think 89, which is another thing. Wow, crazy, right? The problem, and that's even though that I did that, the problem with that is, I get in order for me to turn $14 into 89, which is $9 more than I started with, I had to win 7 straight games because $14, like, right? So, and this was from Saturday night to Monday night, and then finally I was like, I just deleted the app, and I was like, that's all I can do is just delete the app and take off my cards. It's gotten that bad. Like I'm still not fully over the whole thing, obviously. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so yeah, that's the problem is like you win, like even if you get hot gambling, what tends to happen is that you're so confident and then all the money you just won, you basically just go all in. It's like all chips on the table, and then you lose and like you just won 7 games in a row. Well, that means nothing because it's all gone. And then you don't want to end on a loss, right? And I know I have a friend who actually, I have a couple of friends that gamble. I had to tell them to, stop texting me about it, and obviously it didn't work. But I mean, yeah, they've lost thousands and thousands of dollars as well, and they still do it. It's like the thing. So, man, I mean, I have that addiction. I know other people who have addictions, drug, alcohol. I've seen people look disgusting because of drug addictions. And I done drugs? Yes. My family's watching this. They know that because they follow Swaggy. Drugs are it's just like, please don't ever do it. I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, but just please don't do it because I'm not even gonna say that because I know kids watch me. Just don't do it because there's nothing to gain. And let me explain to you why. If you don't like it, you just try drugs, like, and you didn't even like it. And then if you do like it, well, now you're addicted. So it's like I wish I never gambled. I wish I never tried drugs. And there's certain things I want to say, but I'm protecting like younger kids watching. If I don't even know if anybody's still watching at this point, but there's like I know if I say something, somebody might take it and like kind of run with it and want to do it, and I don't even want to take that risk. But there's no reason. Like think about it, bro. The best thing that I can say is, why would you need a drug to feel good? Like you should be able to be sober by yourself or with people or family and feel good about yourself. And my life it was good, but it also wasn't good because like, bro, I felt like I kind of needed, to be lit, to have a good time. And you realize that you don't need any of that. Like all you kind of need is just good relationships, man. Friends, family, the man above. And once you have that, it is the best feeling, bro. Just being around good people. Literally. And when I say good people, I mean people that will put you before them. It's very rare, but there are people that are like that. You just kind of have to find them. I mean, you might only meet a couple of them in your entire life, but once you have them, then you got to keep them around. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. I don't want this to come across as like I'm better than people that I talked about or like I'm an awesome person. Like I have made a lot of mistakes in my life, and there's been certain things that I've done that I got very, very lucky. Like it took a fortuitous bounce in a sense, and that is not okay. It's not. You should never have to rely on luck. It's as simple as that. So, if you guys are going to learn anything from this video, the next time you're about to make a bad decision, don't. I got a text message from a friend in Texas on Thursday, or was it Friday? I think it was, I don't even remember. It was Thursday or Friday. And it was like, I give you permission to do one bad thing today. I never did a bad thing that day. And like why would you is the thing. Like there's just it leads to even more problems. I've seen friends who have had to be hospitalized because of addictions. And is gambling better than doing drugs? Not really. I mean, yeah, I wasn't physically harmed by it, but the feeling that I had those nights losing thousands of dollars in single nights probably felt just as bad as my friends in the hospital, but the only they literally could have died. And then some of them kind of learned their lesson, some of them didn't. But that's where you just need someone to sit down and have a talk with you. And I'm not a confrontational person. Like I'm a very sweet, genuine, nonchalant guy. But I have had a talk about my friend who I sent the video around and had to kind of get assertive about it because he did something that was completely out of line, out of pocket, and can never happen again. And I'm not going to disclose that because it'd be like him disclosing things about me. I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, there's certain things that's crossing the line. Speaking across the line, like certain things that I could say that would be crossing the line that shouldn't be on YouTube. But it's just like, we've all had to have. I'd assume we'd all have to have those conversations. Maybe not like that to that extent, but just had to have a talk with someone about something serious. And that's kind of where we were at. So my last night in Texas, I was with him. We went out to eat with my friend also and his girlfriend. And I actually have he gave me we went out and we got these like mini cups, right? And then we took shots out of it was what's it called? Bailey's. It was s'mores Bailey's, just pure sugar. We got those like little shot cups, took shots out of that, had the bottle. And then we played like that miniature game, and that was my last night in Texas. And that guy, honestly, like my time in Texas was a lot of good, a lot of bad. Like I learned how to be on my own and stuff, but there was a lot more bad and there was a lot more good. But just the relationships that I made with those guys was worth it to me to move out there. And yeah, there's been nights where it's like I dream of going back. And I was close at one point, but then I screwed it up with the gambling and got suspended, and then I was far off, and like now I don't have a car. But I do want to go back, but I also want to be smart about it. I messaged in the group chat earlier this morning. I was like, "How much money do you guys want saved up before moving out?" And one of my friends said $1,500, and that's kind of pushing it to me. I said I wasn't going to get into this video. I guess I lied, but like I think you should have 3 months of rent saved up. Like if you live on your own, this, but it's not cheap because you see the rent, but you have to pay utilities, Wi-Fi, phone, renter's insurance. You need to pay for gas. You need to pay for food, your phone, if you pay that. And that's just that I can think of. Is like you need to get haircuts, right? It's just basic everyday stuff. If you go to the gym, car insurance, if you want to have like any sort of social life, you want to go out or you want to get food with someone or go like the arcade, like that, you got to pay to get into the arcade, at least the one in Houston. I'm sure you don't have to pay for like basic arcades, but this was like an adult type of arcade that served drinks. If you want to go on dates with women, you're paying. I actually had some dates where the girls offered to pay as well, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like if a girl offers to pay, that's not really a good thing. Like if you're dating her, yeah, but they probably don't like you that much. So I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong because the second date, I ended up at her place, the girl that offered to pay the first time. So I guess she did like me, but I digress on that. Let's kind of get away from that. But but yeah, man, it's good to laugh because literally like all night I've just been stressing about this and just having someone to talk about it. Like I'm talking to myself, but just like chat GPT. And like I got a phone call from an undisclosed number on Saturday night and I didn't think much of it. I didn't answer it because I was watching the Knicks. And then I started to put two and two together. I was like, is that him calling me because he trusts me? And then I'm like, that's crazy. It's like, why would he do that? It's really extremely far fetched here. But yeah, I mean, it was nice just having like friends who were able to step in if you were out of line or about to do something you'd regret. The biggest thing was being intoxicated. Is like before getting behind the wheel, it's like, hey man, give me those keys. Like I'm driving. When I was 20 years old, I got into a bar under. Well, technically I was under 21. I know it's 18 in every other country, but I ended up getting in there with my friends, and my sister was there, and there was other girls and stuff there. But like we were getting served drinks, and my friend got super hammered, and then he got in his car and he started it. And I remember my friend and I were holding the door, and we were like, "Man, you can't drive. Like this is crazy." And he's like, "I can." Man, he's like, "I can." I was like, "All right, man." I was like, "Head home." Or man, so I this took years for me to get over, but fuck, man. But yeah, I remember he was like, "Yeah, I got it." And then like we were like, "All right, man," because like 10 minutes of talking to him, like he's insisting I got it, and then he was going back to my place, and he pulled out of well, first of all, like there was a gate, there was those gates where it's like it goes up like this. It's always just down. But he drove right through it, made a loud ass noise. Everyone came rushing out of the bar. My friend and I like started sprinting from our cars, and then we just watched because there's nothing we could do. And then he takes a right, and then there's like a little hill that goes like there's a little bit of like a hill that slants like this, really steep, and he just didn't make the turn, and then his car flipped, and it was like sideways, like off of the guardrail. And somebody from the bar immediately called the police, and there's nothing we can do because I'm pretty positive it's illegal to just go and like kind of take him away there. It's like fleeing the scene. That's an arrest in its own right. So, state trooper came, he got a DUI, and I remember like talking to my friend and my parents because and then there was like other people there, but we ended up going back to my parents' house. My parents were at the bar. And man, it was just like I blamed myself for years, but then I kind of realized like that's not my fault. But yeah, I never actually talked to him in person again. Like he stopped drinking, and I've been drinking every weekend since I was 18 years old. I'm 27 now, so like he kind of just stopped associating with me because of that. And everyone, friends, family, and then I don't know what he's been up to. I know he still lives in my town, but yeah, I was 7 years ago. I haven't talked to him, and sometimes people just kind of need a wake up call. But bro, like you can't have something like that happen again and again and again. And I know I sound like a hypocrite because I gambled again and again and again. But like I knew that I had to just delete the app. I knew that I had an issue, and I kind of asked for help with managing my money. And yeah, so I mean, obviously that makes you an addict. It makes me an addict, but if you just ask for help, like especially from family, like they're gonna help you out. So, like it's just, like most men die in their 70s. I'm 27. So like if you die at 7 years old, like 35 years old, technically your life is halfway over. And that scares the hell out of me because what have I really done in life? Like, yes, I've built up my brand, my media company, moved out on my own, had fun. But it's like I look where I'm at now, right? So you gotta be able to earn things the hard way. Nothing comes easy in life. Nothing comes free. Getting rich is very, very unlikely. Investments is the move. Imagine I took all that money I lost betting and put it into investments. I would have been smarter, right? So, yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video, resonate with you or you enjoyed it. I mean, it's a long ass video. I made a 50-minute video, I think last week. Or, yeah, it was last week. This one's going to be pretty close to that. It's 11:30 p.m. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just upload this tonight because maybe there's an update tomorrow. And but yeah, man, I hope people don't take this the wrong way. I don't know who's gonna see this video. Again, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but it's just I've always been the type of person that I'll be there no matter what. And over the summer, my friend got into an we'll call it an accident. If he's not watching this, but inside joke when we say accident. But he called me, and I was just about to get home, and then I freaking did a Yui like two a.m. Pulled up to him, helped him get situated with that, move his car right, get it to safety, things like. He was so scared, and that's just not like that. Not like that's anything crazy, but that's just the type of friends you want. Is like you call someone up, man, like they're always there for you. You don't got to worry about it, and see, it's gonna be just as hard to leave as it was before because I love the friends that I have here. Like, I love obviously my family and everything like that. But you want to be uncomfortable. Being in a city with no friends and no family made me uncomfortable. And at the time, I hated it, but that's how I grew. And it changed me a lot, like because you get humbled quick coming from a small town to a big city. You realize how quick it moves and how selfish people are. It's like not who you are. What can you do for me? And yeah, I remember one night I was talking to this guy at the bar. We were both really shy and just kind of there's like a lot of pretty girls there, but it's just like at the bar, whatever, talking. And then I remember this girl started hitting on him and then dancing with him, and then her and her friends like invited him over or whatever, hang out after at the party. And then he literally came back and started talking to me again. And then, there was like other guys that kind of got with the girls, and then like he was going with them. And then I asked him, I was like, wait, am I going with you guys? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, of course. And he would like, obviously, I don't know what actually happened, but maybe this was just the nice guy in me. But I think that he was serious when he said that. But then I think he talked to one of the other guys, and he's like, nah, he's not coming. And they slipped out the back door. And then after like 10, 15 seconds, I tried to go out the back door as well. And then I got stopped by the in Texas. I don't know if it's just Texas, but they have like they have people in the bathroom, they hand out like paper towel and things like that. Man, you can also buy stuff in there like gum or something, get your breath right. Gum's really good to chew, kill bacteria. And then he stopped me. Obviously, he's not gonna stop a group of people just walking out there, but he did stop me probably because he was like, wait, what's going on? And he saw me, and I got one of the girls. I didn't get one of the girls' info that was leaving, but I got like another girl's info, just like in like a friendly type of way. She was trying to set me up with people, and obviously that didn't work because my hair was still kind of growing, and I was really shy, and like everyone was like and knew I wasn't from there. It was like really, you think it's bad now, man. Back then, oh my god, it was bad, bro. The approaches and stuff, but yeah, I remember texting or I sent her like a voice message, and we were like text messaging. It was in my car. And then I asked her about like what happened, and then she just let me on red. And I think she still follows me to this day. I've been unfollowed her, but I think she probably went and hung out with him. I'm projecting, but that's the thing, bro. Is like that guy maybe he did want to keep hanging out with me and for me to come, but it's like, what was I really gonna do for them? Not much. So it's something I actually didn't. I'll end it on this, but something I didn't even mention is that like the month before I moved from Houston, I tried to throw a party like at my friend's apartment, and one person showed up, and the person who showed up was the guy I've been talking about in this video, right? Where I don't know where he is, and I have a video, and I don't know if I can. I don't want to take any chances, but I'd like to show it. But I took a video of him and me. Just I was like, hey, look, this is the guy who showed up, and I posted on my story, and that's just the type of person he was, man. I mean, he showed up, bro. And is it the craziest thing? I mean, we hung out every weekend anyway, but it's like this having that like ride or die is the best feeling, bro. It's like someone who would do whatever it takes. And obviously we have our imperfections as well. I mean, there's like, look at his situation, look at mine, but just knowing that he's going through that, and I can't do anything about it. Um, it's sad, man. It's sad. I'll keep you guys updated, but just losing my god brother, losing him. I mean, lost my friend. You know, who drowned. Like, just don't want to lose anyone else, man. Uh, man, I hope he's okay, bro. But thank you guys for listening. It means the world to me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.